All right, guys, so first things first, here's your warm-up. Go ahead and get started. All right, so for the warm-up, the daily cost of hiring a plumber, Y, to work X hours. All right. So they told us what X and Y are as of right now. We got to finish reading this to see exactly what they want. A repair project can be modeled using a linear function. So we're talking about linear right now. The plumber charges a fixed cost of $80 plus an additional cost of $45 per hour. The plumber works a maximum of $8 hours per day. For 1 day of work, what is the range of the function for this situation? All right, so they want to know range, they want to know Y values. So first off, the first thing that I can get rid of in these answer choices are the X's, because they're obviously not wanting to know what the X, the domain is. They want to know what the range is. Well, they said Y represents the cost of hiring the plumber. All right, so we want to know how much is it going to cost to hire the plumber for 0 hours to 8 hours. Well, they said the plumber charges a fixed cost of $80. So at the very beginning, they're charging $80 and they're adding another cost of $45 per hour. Well, if in the first case, they don't charge anything at all for the 0 hours, 80 plus 45 times 0 is just 80. So that tells me the first number that I'm going to have in my answer is 80, which tells me answer choice B is correct. Now, I could go about this and actually go find the second number if I wanted to by putting 8 in for X, which would give me 440. But as soon as I get that 80 answer, that's how I know that I did this correctly. All right, so today's topic, we are writing exponential functions. All right. So first things first, go ahead and figure out, well, what does the 3 and the 2 represent? All right, if you looked at the box above, you would probably be able to figure it out of what the 3 and the 2 represent. The 3 is my A, and it says my A is my y-intercept. The 2 is my B value, and the B value is the common ratio. All right, so again, just going over exactly what we just talked about. A is your y-intercept. B is your common ratio. Now, with a exponential function, one thing that an exponential function has that the other 2 types of functions we went over don't have is an asymptote. Exponential functions have an asymptote, a line that the graph of the function approaches but never crosses. This horizontal asymptote will lie on the x-axis. In other words, remember, you label this as y equals 0. Whenever you're asked for the horizontal asymptote, it's always y equals 0. Or if they ask for the axis that it's on the y-axis. Now, when it comes to word problems, we're going to have a growth and a decay model, growth and decay equation. When it comes to this, the A for both of them is going to be your initial amount. Your T for both of them is going to represent time. The R is going to be the rate. That's the percentage that's changed to a decimal. But the next part, the 1 plus R, is going to represent whatever your growth rate is. So this is the examples where you're going to have a number bigger than 1. And so that's how you know that it will represent a growth. If on the other hand, your number is less than 1, those are examples where you're going to have a decay. Rate. All right, now let's go ahead and let's look at some examples. Number 1, the population of a small town is 2,100 people. If the town increases annually by 3.5%, write an equation that will represent the situation. Well, my initial amount is 2,100. We are increasing, so it's 1 plus 0.035 to the t power. So final answer is 2,100, 1.035 to the t power. Number 2, they're given a table and you need to come up with the exponential function. Whenever you're given a table, you need to come up with your common ratio and your y-intercept. Well, my y-intercept is 0,4. My common ratio, I need to figure out what I'm multiplying each of my y's by to get to the next one. Well, 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 5 is 50. That must mean that's my common ratio. So final answer is my y-intercept of 0.4 times 5 to the x power. Next, write an exponential function that represents the graph below. Well, again, I need a y-intercept and I need a common ratio. My y-intercept here is 0,3. My common ratio, I need some coordinates. This is 0,3. I have another coordinate here at 1,6. So that tells me there, in order to get from 6 to 3, what do you have to multiply 6 by? Well, 6 times 1/2 equals 3. So that right there is my common ratio. Final answer is 3 times 1/2 to the x power. Write an exponential function with the 0.07 common ratio of 1/2. Well, that's pretty easy. Common ratio, this point here is my y-intercept. So that is 7 times my common ratio to the power of x. All right, make sure you go do your homework.